Let me ask the members' question, if I may ask that.
Yeah.
So did they get the first priority of first of all being the first shareholders or so, and how was the reception when you told them you were demutualizing?
Yeah. We had an AGM, we discussed it.
All right.
They were very excited.
Okay.
We got all the approvals that we required. They were the first one to own the organization, to buy shares into it. The response has been wonderful.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Yes.
No, lovely.
Yes.
And of course, I mean, from where I sit, it's just to welcome you as well and say Karibu Sana to the PLC department. Yes. There you go. Yeah. Let's talk about, you've mentioned about it's a restricted offer definitely to your members.
Yeah.
When do you hope that you can become public so that at least I, who looks at you and says at least I was taught driving there, I want to own part of that company. Do you see this happening soon?
Very, very soon. Okay. If not next year but one.
Wow.
That will happen.
That's good news for the people who believe in you.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's talk about the plans that you have. You are out here and you really were looking for these funds which you're already in the process of raising.
Yeah.
And I think you're about to even close. And what are the plans that you're putting in place? Are there certain things that you really hope to achieve? I'm sure you've been informed by your strategy that you said. This is not to steal anything for your competitors, to note anything, but could you give us what we want to see in the near future? What do I see as the future of AA? What do we want to see immediately we raise this capital? We want, first of all, to expand in terms of our footprint, like I've just said. We want to open a number of new branches. You do realize that our part of our business, we have to be there present. So it has to be brick and mortar. Because you have to be there with a car to train a driver. Absolutely.
So we might be opening another more, about 40 or so branches in a very near future. The next item that we are planning to do is to expand geographically into African region. We want to get into a partnership with AA Namibia, AA Rwanda, and we're also going to DRC. Why? They are not big clubs. Like we call, in the FIA we call them clubs. They are not big organizations, and so they have one or two products. They have the membership. Some of them just have membership alone, or some of them are just doing, like sports. The safari rally and so on.
You're right.
But they don't have the mobility part of it, and so they want us to go there and start the mobility. That presents a huge opportunity for us as an organization, and so we want to get into that line of business. We have started new business lines, and we are just to launch more. FIA has two divisions, three actually. We have mobility, we have sports, and we have tourism. And so we've started venturing into tourism. Let me explain that a bit.
Go ahead.
In this country, if you want to travel out with your car, you need two documents to travel out with your car. You need a passport for the car.
Okay.
That cannot be given by the government. That can only be given by AA. So you come to us. So that is tourism. Because a lot of people who are going out with the vehicles are actually going to tour Africa or whatever.
You're right. Road trips.
Road trips. Then you need an international driving permit. For you to be allowed to drive in any country in this world, you have to have an AA document called IDP, International Driving Permit. Again, that can only be given by us. And so we were at a push from FIA to offer, a full bouquet of tourism products. And so we are getting into that. So we need a lot of capital to get into that. And so that will happen soon. So in terms of diversifying into new products, we also have a lot of products in terms of our digital space. With all due respect, if you think about it, if you have an issue allowed, in the corner of this country, most likely you might see a Land Rover coming to tow you, rescue you, and sometimes you get into trouble. We want to organize that market and we want to give them a platform. So that is an area that we're getting into. And we've had various discussions, and I think very soon you see something coming up. Something close to an Uber for towing.
Okay.
So you have an issue.
Something that looks nicer.
Exactly, nicer, exactly.
The ones that I see in town are scary.
Yeah. So you have an issue, and you get into a platform, and you're able to see who is next to you, who can rescue you.
Wow.
And that person will be trained by us, and will be operating, with some standards.
That's a game changer, because sometimes even trying to get one is always trouble. Someone who knows someone, that's the only way out.
Exactly.
So that would be great.
Exactly.
Which speaks to the question I wanted to ask about how you're embracing technology, and I think you've already mentioned on that. Maybe you could add one more on that. But as you add on that, I wanted to ask you, we are seeing a lot of changes, especially in the automobile industry. By the changes, I mean, people are talking electrical moving, thinking matters of efficiency, and which speaks to the future of your business a lot. And I know you're already seeing that from your purview, how the conversation is going globally and even here locally, and what you're seeing. The other thing I see is the challenge that we're seeing right now. When I speak to many captains of industry, there's a strain to the customer, and I'm sure that has an effect to you, because if the customer can't think of owning one, then it has an effect directly on you as well. Speaking to the challenges that you're facing, I just wanted to hear from your end, are there a tray of challenges that you've seen, and what are you looking at in the future to overcome these particular things?
A couple of things. We have a challenge.
Yes.
Supported by FIA, we conducted a research on electric mobility, just to see whether it's something that is going to be accepted by Kenyans and by Africans, actually. Initially, we had done another research on the safety of our vehicles, the vehicles coming to our country. We call them grey vehicles.
Yes.
And we bought some of the vehicles from our market here. New, reconditioned, the way they come, either from Japan or from wherever else. And we sent them to Germany for testing. And they are clashed. Yes.
Okay.
Just look at the safety features.
Yes.
And we were scared. I know I'm yet to release that report. It will be coming soon. And so we started looking at what is it that drives people to buy the vehicles they buy. Because when you look at the vehicles which probably a lot of us are buying, is one, you want to buy what you can afford. Number two, what you think you get somebody to support you. Sorry. When you're in trouble.
Yes.
So you go for, as an example, Toyota, because you think there are parts allowed, there are people who understand it, and so on and so forth. What about electric vehicles? What about even those hybrid vehicles? A lot of people are not very sure. If I get into trouble, what happens? And so we want to give that assurance that AA will be there. And we'll be able to support you. And so what did we do? We first of all attended a training abroad on this, and then we invited them to come and play and train our people. And I think in the last 2 weeks we've been training our staff on electric mobility. I was laughing with one of the trainers, from Vienna, because the prototype that he was carrying looked like a bomb. But it's a very good training, instrument on electric mobility. So to answer your question, yes, we are ready for that challenge. And very soon we'll be telling people, just get the comfort, buy your electric vehicle. We are here.
I love that you have addressed that. I just want to ask you, just delving on the same, what's your current, right now, the way it is, what's this thing that keeps you awake and you're like, we need to cross this hurdle? Any other challenge that you face?
I would say for the time being is we have a very ambitious strategy. We have now this capital raising that is still ongoing. That is what keeps me awake. Until that is done, then we can address the others.
So as we come to a close, there are people who are looking at you and saying, I'm curious to know the findings, because the NSC, as you said, it was a very thorough process. I mean, it took 1-2 years until you are onboarded. One would want to hear from your end as a CEO, what's the quality of what you're going to offer out in terms of, is this a company to run to. And so what I'm asking you is the assurance you want to give your investors, your shareholders, so that at least the moment they will get a chance, they can jump in. What's your message to them?
I think to our members and our shareholders, I'm sure they know. This is a company to watch.
Yes.
It's not just an industry which probably has one product that they are manufacturing and is subject to those shocks. It's an organization they have been with for 100 years plus. It's an organization they have seen growing. The future looks very bright.
Yes.
I like what one of the advert was saying. You need glasses to look at the future because it's too bright. We have a lot of projects ongoing. Projects that probably will take us to the next level. I think our challenge has been, the funds to do that. Now we are raising the funds, and so we expect that this will be a great one for us.
Great. And I had said that was the final question, but Ibuka helped you to get where you are. And there could be companies saying, if AA went there, I'd want to hear whether this is a place to go if I'm thinking about capital raising. What's your message to them based on Ibuka?
I would say this. We are all operating in an environment which is quite volatile.
You're right.
In an environment which is tough. I know a lot of organizations are looking for ways of raising capital. And for me is to say Ibuka will be the best place to be. Do I able to hard hold us, to train us? Do I able to give us the consultants, the people to support us? Do I able to negotiate for us, the pricing, And I think they have the credibility, and so they know what need to be done. One of the things that gives me the comfort is to know that whatever you've done in the last 3 years, we had NSC, Ibuka, holding our hands. So anytime we are not very clear on what to do here, we go to them, and they already knew what we need to, and what need to be done. And so that is the place to be. Yes.
Thank you so much for your time.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There you have it, Francis Theory, the CEO, AA Kenya PLC. I love to use the word PLC for them. And he's very optimistic that, listen, this is the company to watch because the plans they have, the strategy, and once they got the money, you better look at that company and be an investor as well. You have that potential. He says in a year or so, you might be as well an investor with them. Thank you so much for your time. I leave you now with the markets.